what the fans would call backyard wrestling, you call street wrestling. Talk about that.
Well, street wrestling started for me back in 1980, 84, 83 or 84 on Percy Street. I lived on near Knife and Erie. It's Percy and Erie. We used to wrestle in a backyard, actually in somebody's yard. That's why they call it backyard wrestling, I guess now. I call it street wrestling back then because we didn't do backyard wrestling. We didn't do backyard wrestling rules like, try to kill each other. We loved it wrestling, and we always wrestled each other, all our friends, because we had nothing else better to do. We couldn't hang out the playgrounds because the playgrounds was always ruined because of the neighborhood. So a bunch of guys, we all got together, and maybe like 20 of us, always on Percy Street. I can name some people: Collins, Lee, I forget his last name. Again, my friend Anthony Romos, and I forget the other Puerto Rican guy, but he loved it, Manny Fernandez, so he took on the name Manny Fernandez. If you know who I am, he knows who I am. Myself, I love the Road Warriors, but at first I wanted to be Don Morocco. But since we took on the NWA, I was not allowed to be Don Morocco because he was from WWF. And you got to leave the F out because they lost the lawsuit. So I love the Road Warriors. So I took on Animal. I was Animal from the Road Warriors. And there was actually a guy that looked like Hulk Hogan. I forget his real name. I think it was Mark or something. He actually looked like Hulk Hogan. I hated Hulk Hogan back then. And when I used to wrestle him, the guy who looked like Hulk Hogan, I used to beat him up. So yeah, anyway, we would wrestle every weekend, just, because we had nothing else to do. We didn't play basketball. Once in a while we'd play football, maybe basketball, but we all loved it wrestling. We would watch it, talk about it, and actually do it. We would have Royal Rumbles. We would have regular matches, and then we also have belts. Almost every belt that you can name of. The Mid-Atlantic belt, the national title, the United States title, the TV title, the world title, the tag team titles, and the United States tag team titles of NWA, because NWA was our favorite back then, because it was more realistic to me than anything else out there. Because to me, WWF was for kids, with all the characters, but NWA was the best, so we would imitate them. Other people we knew from other areas of the neighborhood, from different neighborhoods, they had their own leagues, like AWA, I actually liked the AWA, UWF, and they would come, and we all would have big matches, unified titles. My friend Anthony, well, we call him Tony sometimes at the time, he was the United States champion, the NWA United States champion, on the street now, mind you. Not the real United States champion, don't get it confused, because y'all might get confused and think it was real, the real belt, but we, like I said, we always make belts. And he fought the UWF champion. We unified that belt. I was half of the World Tag Team Champions with my friend Lee. He was Hawk from the Road Warriors. And every weekend we would wrestle, actually have fun. That's all we did. And that's why I always loved wrestling back since the 70s. I'll get to that in another story, how it started for me. But yeah, backyard wrestling, that's what they call it. We didn't even really call it backyard wrestling. We should have called it backyard wrestling because we would wrestle on the street for real. Our battle royals, we would throw each other over cars, parked cars, and then we'd get back into the alleyway, back into the yard again.
So you didn't use any kind of mats?
Mats? Nah.
Mats. Like where?
Oh, mats? Oh, yeah. We use...
floor mats.
We use, actually, old beds. We did not use no mats. I can get to that, to the other story back in the early, like 86, 87, 88, around 3rd and Norris. Now, if you want to go back to that area, on 3rd and Norris, the only mats we use, if anybody remember what swings used to be, swings, the swings would be on a metal bar. Mm-hmm. I know you want, they're shaped like I guess a V.
Yeah.
The bars would be shaped like this, and there'd be swings on there, but the swings wasn't there. Underneath the swings, there were black mats. Everybody know what I'm talking about, these black mats. If you fall off the swing, you land on the mat, it puts to save you. We wrestle on top of that. That's what we wrestle on 3rd and Norris. When I used to wrestle over there on 3rd and Norris, people would know me around there. They were still, when I do pass around Philadelphia, if I do pass around Norris, people will remember me. Hey, I know Jose. Used to wrestle right there on 3rd and Norris. with Tony and some other guys, Mickey, and I can't remember everybody, but we used to always wrestle every weekend. Also there, we also had belts too. When I will show you in the next video, if I get a chance, to show you the belts that we used to make, that I still make today. I still make belts today. But that's what our backyard wrestling was, and we never try to hurt each other. We never used chairs, and we never used tables, and we never used fluorescent bulbs like I see people out there hit each other with a light bulb, because we was not getting paid for it, and we didn't want to get that hurt, because I see people get hurt for using that kind of stuff on YouTube. I see people actually almost get killed. I'm not trying to get killed. I got a family to worry about, and that's why we just have fun. My friend Tony, he made it into actually a good lead. I wish I would have made it where he made it at. I didn't get that far out of the streets. A lot of people say I had potential to make it into the leads. If I didn't hurt my back, I probably would have made it in the big leads. But, you know, circumstances happened that one time I hurt my back and I didn't make it. So
I want to add on one quick story. Didn't you almost get into ECW?
Well, yeah. Well, that's a story that ECW going to deny, of course. But they wanted $3,000. Paul Heyman. I actually met Paul Heyman.
Because typically a school would ask about $3,000 for tuition.
I didn't know what it was for, but he said I needed $3,000. I already knew what I knew, because like I was saying, I can say I'm not a real professional, but I knew what I was doing, and I could do it in the ring. So I already knew what I was doing. We actually, everybody who wrestled on the street, we actually learned on our own, and we knew how to fall, how to, you know, catch each other. Everybody say wrestling is a dance, so we knew how to dance. Everybody did. Nobody hurt nobody. We always had a good show on the streets. If it was recorded, you would probably, some matches was like, holy shit, you won't believe the matches. You know, some people, like when me and Tony wrestle, we actually we copy Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, and everybody know what I'm talking about. Randy Savage and Steamboat, the best match ever. And I think it was WrestleMania 4 or 3.
Three.
Was it 3 or 4?
3.
Okay, 3. I got, you know,
4 was
many matches. But yeah, we used to have matches like that, and everybody else, we will always have good matches. We always have good matches. Nobody ever got really hurt. Some people did get hurt because you make a mistake. Excuse me. Mistakes can happen. But yeah, the ECW story, how it goes, not finding out why he wanted the $3,000. Found out later that he probably wanted me to pay to get to go to the school.
Their tuition for school.
Why I wanted to pay $3,000 when I already know what I know, and you know, I could teach some of these guys stuff if I wanted to. I could have opened up my own school. But a lot of backyard wrestlers try to make, you know, think they can make it to the big leagues by doing the stuff they're doing. And nope, they ain't gonna do that. You need to find a gym, find out who they, you know, one of these independent wrestling shows. That's where you need to go, and that's how you get if you want to get into the big leagues, because they actually will work with you than the big leagues. You know, like they got NXT now. NXT, you actually got to go through a process before you get into it. And if you don't make it through that process, they don't even bother, you know, taking your money from you.
How did you meet up with Paul Heyman? At the arena or somewhere else?
Yeah, ECW arena.
At the ECW arena?
Yes. Somebody, I forget who introduced me. One of my friends actually introduced me to him. Say, yo, you got to check this guy out. He know how to wrestle. And then we didn't hit it off at first. At all, me and Paul Heyman, you could tell he was all about money. And I don't know if he's going to, probably will deny it. But yeah, they said I needed $3,000. And at that time, I didn't have that kind of money. I still don't got that kind of money. But yeah, but if I knew what I knew now, I could have gotten to an independent, one of the independents like AWF, DWF is in Jersey. The AWF is somewhere in Philadelphia near, on a boulevard, if anybody know what I'm talking about.
It's different from the AWF that Hito Santana was involved in up in Chicago. That was different.
Can't remember the other ones. The other minor leagues, you know. And once you make it to like one of the major leagues, like CCW, when ECW was around, you could have made it. If you would have made it there, you know, you made it. And of course, everybody want to make it the big leagues. It's WWE now. I wish NWA was still around. But yeah, but that's my story about my backyard wrestling, what I call street wrestling. And see you on the flip side.